Good morning. It is Wednesday of the second week of school, and today I am sporting my new nail color yellow. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what's inside this humongous Lego store bag. Good morning. It is Wednesday of the second week of school. I'm getting ready to let my students in pretty soon, and I can't wait to show you what we have planned for today. That's the door. Let me get it, and I'll see you later. All right, so it's now the end of the day, and I have been busy using my time wisely and planning and trying to come up with different things that I want to add to our new writer's notebook. We started setting up our writer's notebook today, and I've been here trying to recreate some things for the students to just tape into their notebooks so that they will be able to refer back to it as the year progresses when they're writing essays and engaging in writing, etc. But let me show you what I have created so far. So I went ahead and I created these 3 different pages that will be added into their notebooks. But this explains the different writing domains in which they will be scored for their essay writing. Domain 1 is purpose, focus, and organization, which we shorten as PFO. Domain 2 is evidence and elaboration, which we shorten as EE. And domain 3 is conventions, which again, we just use a C to refer to it. So then I talked a little bit about that domain, and I did color code it so the students can have it in their notebooks. The next page is something that I put together. It is basically going over what is opinion writing and about an opinion essay. We use compelling reasons, and I talk a little bit more about what compelling means. And on the side is what is informative writing, and then an informative essay. We go over what is relevant evidence, and I talk a little bit about what relevant means. And the last page that I kind of put together was how we unwrap the prompt, and I teach them to use APT 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it's basically APT, as easy as 1, 2, 3. This is APT, so we're looking for the audience, the purpose, and the task. And in order to find that, we do 1, 2, 3. So 1 is we circle the type of essay, so the essay keyword. Number 2 is we underline the topic, and number 3, we ask if it's a 1-part or a 2-part prompt so that we know to answer both parts if it's a 2-part prompt. So this is the analytical writing process, and it goes step by step, and APT 1, 2, 3 is in there along with all the other steps that are involved with how we do analytical writing in our classroom. And this is the writing prompt that we're going to tape into our notebooks so that we can unwrap it and start gathering evidence for it as we read our sources in Wonders, so that we can then create a plan for writing that will lead us to create an essay. And this one happens to be an opinion essay. Let me show you how I was able to introduce the students to this prompt earlier this week and how I showed them how to unwrap it. So I did put that writing prompt in a PowerPoint, and I added some animations to it. But basically, let me hit the play show so that you can see. We read the prompt, and I told them to read the prompt multiple times because they need to make sure they understand the prompt. Then after that, we do our APT 1, 2, 3. So APT again is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, we look for our type of essay, our essay keyword. In this case, it's opinion. And then we do our 2, which is our topic. What am I writing about? And it's usually I tell them right after the essay keyword. So in this case is which ways to solve a problem will work best for you. And then after that, we do number 3, which is we ask, is this a 1-part or a 2-part prompt? This happens to be a 1-part prompt. And that's very important because if it were a 2-part prompt, we want to make sure we address both parts. Because if we only address one part, we're not going to get full point credit for purpose, focus, and organization, which is domain 1 in our writing. So then once we find the 1, 2, 3, we can now get the APT. A stands for audience. If the prompt doesn't tell you who you're writing to, I automatically tell the students that they are writing to the teacher so that they know that this is formal academic writing. And then we look for the purpose. The purpose is directly connected to my essay keyword or type of essay. In this case, I circled opinion. So my purpose is to give my opinion. And then the T stands for task, which goes along with topic. So the task is related to what I underlined. In this case, and I tell my students to write it in the form of a question, because as they look for reasons in their body paragraphs, they can easily find those reasons by answering the prompt as if it were a question. So, which way to solve a problem works best for me? So this is basically how I taught my students to unwrap the prompt this week. So that's basically what we started to sort of do in writing today after we went ahead and read the dragon problem. Oh, and we did the foldable. So I'll show you the foldable that I put together myself. And I made one of these foldables for each of our 3 main passages for the Wonders Unit 1, Week 1, which happens to be the dragon problem, the princess and the pizza, and Thomas and his sons. So we did do that today during reading. We discussed the elements of story structure. And we also went over the spade strategy, which you saw a little clip that I kind of showed earlier in the video where it showed the spade strategy and we were brainstorming again where good ideas come from. And I did have them do a second read of the dragon problem. I gave them a blue sticky, and I'll show you my example of the blue sticky. And I asked them to make 3 annotations because the A in the spade strategy that we use in our district stands for analysis plus annotations. So during the second read, you are expected to do some annotations as you interact with the text. So I wanted them to do at least 3, and I have those with me, and a lot of them finished their trifold. So let me show you my example of the trifold so that you can see what it contains. So this is the foldable right here. It kind of folds like doors. I still call it a trifold. And when you open it up, I had the students respond to the essential question, where do good ideas come from, before they read the dragon problem. And then after we did the first read, which I did model good reading for them, and I read it to them myself, it's a short story, they then completed this elements of story structure chart so that they can focus on the standard that we're doing. And then over here, we have the vocabulary and the different sentences that support that. And then on the back, they had their comprehension questions. And of course, I showed them to use RAP, which stands for restate the question, answer it, and prove it. I modeled these 2 so that they know my expectations, and then it's up to them to complete these last 3. As far as the annotations go, I gave them this Post-it, which has lines, which is awesome. And I told them to put the page number, the annotation symbol, and their annotation as well. So the students did that for reading today. Now, as for math, we continued working on that other standard where they needed to know how to write the numbers in standard, word, and expanded form. But the second part of that standard had them compare numbers using less than, greater than, and equal to. So we went to the page right after our place value house, and we took notes on that. Let me show you my notebook example. So this is my notebook example, and I had them draw the symbols kind of big and had them use speech bubbles. I got this idea from another interactive notebook resource that I'll make sure I link down below. I just didn't make copies of the papers that she provides because I didn't want to have to run so many copies. So I just took little bits and pieces of what she had there and had the students recreate it themselves. I did have them use this magnifying glass and draw it. I taught them step by step how to draw it and write in here to be a math detective and line the numbers up by place value when comparing. So I told them they could use a chart, or they could just line up the numbers and start comparing from left to right. And again, I am stressing the importance of using the correct math vocabulary by letting them know that this is a greater than symbol and this is a less than symbol. And to remember that it looks like if it's a slanted L, so that they know slanted L, less than. So we did that. And then I had the students go into their Go Math textbooks and complete a couple of different practice problems, not a lot. I think the total was like 11 in total for each of these 2 standards that we have been going over so far. So that's what we did for math, and it took me a little while because I did want to make sure I checked everyone's papers to see if there was anyone that was not understanding it so that I can immediately address that and show them the correct way to do it. And it was great. I feel the students are really understanding this, and I'm trying to get them ready for their mid-chapter checkpoint, which I'm planning on giving to them on Friday. The next thing we really need to get to tomorrow is rounding, which will be in that mid-chapter checkpoint. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, so that's basically all that I have done today in instruction. And yeah, that was a lot. And it was only Wednesday and it's a short day. We didn't get to science today because I really wanted to spend time checking their math work. And tomorrow we'll just dive into science and continue adding to our science notebook. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow for Thursday of the second week of school. Good morning. Today is Thursday. In a few minutes, I'm going to let the kids in and we're going to finish off our daily language review for this week and get the day going. And today, I am sporting my new nail color, yellow. Yes, I was inspired by the 5'1" teacher, but also I was inspired by one of my favorite Disney princesses, Belle. And I actually have her right here. I have a little vinyl of her. So here's Belle. And I'm actually wearing a shirt with Belle on it. And it has little flecks of yellow, so hence the bandana, hence the nail polish. I'm ready. All right, so I will catch up with you sometime later. They do have PE today after lunch, so depends on what I end up doing. If not, I'll talk to you at the end of the day. See you then. All right, so the students are at specials right now. We had the students present their cereal box autobiographies, just 4 more of them. And in the middle of that, we had a fire drill, but that was short. We came back to the room and continued the presentations. The students finished off their daily language arts warm up for week 2. And we went over the dragon problem trifold that we had already started yesterday, and they finished that off. There's a few students that need to finish it, but it's not a lot. They just need to make sure they do that tomorrow for ketchup and pickles. And we started reading The Princess and the Pizza, which right now after PE, we're gonna just finish reading the story so that they have the whole story in their minds, and then we can dive straight into math. Today for math, we're going over rounding numbers. So we're gonna add that standard to our notebooks, and we're gonna take some notes on how we round numbers. And I have a really cute page that I got for free from someone that I saw on Instagram, and then I went to their TPT store, and for free it's there. So I'll have the students work on adding that to their notebooks, and we'll practice rounding numbers in their Go Math textbooks. Once we're done with that lesson, the students will be ready for tomorrow's mid-chapter checkpoint, which we will take in our Go Math textbook, and I'll grade it and put it in the grade book. And we're also gonna work on science. And then that'll be it for today. So I will catch up with you at the end of the day, so I'll see you later. All right, so it's the end of the day now, so I wanted to share with you some of the things that we were able to do for our math notebook. So here's my math notebook example, and let me just skip the pages to the rounding, which is right here. So first, I had them take the standard, and again, this comes from Jason's online classroom. Here is the little people saying all these different tips on how to round, and I'll tell you in a moment because I can't remember. I'll show you where I got this resource from. This is a really good resource. So then on the next page, I had them tape in their notebooks the rounding rhyme that was on my math reference sheet. So let me show you how that looks. So it was really here, tiny. So I gave it to them a little bit bigger so they remember that this is an easy way to remember to round. And then this came from Adrienne Wiggins. And this is a free resource on TPT, so I'll link it down because this was amazing. And then I had them practice rounding, and we went over what happens when you have a 9 in the place that you're rounding to and what happens to the number to the left. And to kind of help them, I also created this number line because the kids are like, okay, so I'm going up or I'm staying the same, but what's the math about that? So that was a brilliant question. So I immediately drew a number line and I showed them where would this number be in this number line. So they said, okay, over here. So is it closer to 39,000 or 40,000? And then they were able to see and make the connection. So that's what we basically did for math with the rounding. And tomorrow I'll have them practice a little bit more with the rounding before they take their mid-chapter checkpoint. So let me show you the trifold for The Princess and the Pizza from our Wonders book. Here's the trifold for The Princess and the Pizza. And before they read the story, they made their predictions. We did the spade strategy. So we did the S for survey the text by looking at the illustrations and the title and any other text features. And then we used that information to help us make the prediction. And then we went back to our essential question, and I had the students think about how they thought the story could possibly add to the answer to the essential question. And we did read the story, but we didn't get to complete the chart for the elements of story structure. And they have text features here, more vocabulary questions, and more comprehension questions on the back that they are going to eventually complete. They'll probably work on this tomorrow during reading. All right, and then for science, the students continued working on their science speech bubble person about what scientists are, what they do, what they use. And because we have been running out of science for the past couple of days, tomorrow I told the kids we were gonna have an upside down day where we were gonna start with science instead of ending with science. So that way we try to give science more time because I feel it's a subject that we haven't been giving enough time to. So I was going to show you the resources of where I got these different things from the interactive math notebook and Adrienne Wiggins, but I'm going to actually tell you tomorrow because I just finished turning off my computer because I'm getting ready to head home. So I'll show you tomorrow and you will see what we end up doing tomorrow as well. So until tomorrow, I'll see you then. Hello everyone and welcome to Friday, the last day of the second week of school. It is the end of the day. This morning I was shooting the clip and then by the time it was finished and I noticed that the audio didn't record, it was time to let the kids in. And I didn't really have any time after that. Lunch, I ate downstairs with my team. During my planning time, I was busy grading papers because I want to have grades in before the long weekend begins and I don't have to worry about that when I come back next week. So all those things needed to get done. So I didn't get a chance to shoot until now, which is after school. So this is my shirt for today. And today is Friday, so it's Funky T-shirt Friday. And my fun shirt for today, it is Harry Potter inspired. So let me stand up so that you can see it. And I just noticed I have a stain there. Oh well. And here too. Oh well. So basically it says, we teachers are rather good at magic, you know. And I got it in this nice blue color, and I love the blue with the white and the gold yellow. But you get to choose the color of the shirt, and I chose this color because I really love it. And I just got the shirt yesterday, so I was very excited to wear it today. I was like, yes. So yeah, Professor McGonagall, I don't know if I said that, is the one who says this in the Harry Potter book series. All right, so I'm sure you're wondering what is possibly in these bags that I put back here. Well, first, let me go over the Barnes & Noble bag. So last night I had to go to Barnes & Noble, and while I was there, I found this awesome book that I saw recently recommended on IG by a teacher. And this is the book. It's called The Day You Begin. So I love this book and I can't wait to read it with my class. I'll probably do some fun writing or reading lesson with it. But the second book that I chose after this one was Happy Dreamer. And I love it. This is by Peter Reynolds, and it just shows the different ways that people dream, and it just goes with different personalities. And me, someone that has ADD, I could relate to some of the things that it went over. So I'm like, oh my God, I can see myself in this book, and I'm sure a lot of my students will be able to see themselves there as well. And that's the door, and I need to get it, so I'll be right back. And I'm back, and I got a lollipop. Yummy. So yeah, that was one of the teachers that we share cards with. We're doing iReady testing and she was returning the card. All right, so I was saying, I'm pretty sure a lot of my students can relate to this book and I can't wait to also use it, but I thought it was a perfect addition to my classroom library, so I'm very happy with these two books. So awesome. I love books. I love adding books to my classroom library. So there you have it. So that's what was in my bag. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what's inside this humongous Lego store bag. Well, yesterday after school, I went to the Lego store with my son to buy him a Lego set. And while I was there, he qualified for a free Lego Movie Part 2 poster. He didn't really want the poster, but I said, you know what? Put the poster in there because I have at least one student in my classroom that will love it because they actually told me from their cereal box autobiography presentation that their favorite movie was the Lego Movie. So I decided, okay, let me get that. And I happened to be there and the manager was there. His name is Jason. And I said, hey, by the way, because they also had stickers from the Lego Harry Potter sets, like big round stickers that had the Hogwarts houses, all four of them. And I said, by the way, I'm a teacher. So if you ever have extra things that you are giving away for free, consider me and let me know because I do teach here in, nearby. So as I was doing my transaction, he said, how many students do you happen to have? I'm like, right now I have 20. He goes, I'm gonna hook you up. So he gave me, not 20 posters, But there's a total of 13 of these beautiful posters, and I would love to open it for you, but let me see, maybe I can open it. 1 second, please, because they have these little pieces of tape on it, because I guess they rolled them up for easy like distribution. So 1 second. So, oh wow, okay. So here it goes. It says they come in pieces, and it has like this astronaut helmet or something like that. I don't know. It says the Lego Movie, the second part, coming out February 2019. So this is such a cool poster. And now I have 13 of them. Like, I don't know how I'm going to give them away to my students. I only have 20 students and 13 posters. So yeah, I'm gonna start to think of something creative that I can do in order to give these away. Maybe I can have like a special like giveaway or a contest. I don't know, I'm gonna think of ideas, but if you have an idea, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you suggest I do in order to give these posters away. So like I said, I have 13 of them. As a matter of fact, I'll show you. I'll stack them up over here. I'm gonna paper clip this instead of taping it, because the paper clip I think will like not damage the poster as much as the tape. So watch this. So that's one. And here are the other ones. This is crazy. I have all these posters. Check this out. Posters, and I just noticed my owl fainted, so there you go. Wow, it is awesome how people are willing to help out teachers and students and things like that. It doesn't hurt to ask. So if you notice any stores that are giving away things for free, just happen to tell them, hey, if you have extras, you know, here's my business card or here's my email. Contact me and I'll be more than happy to pick up whatever you can offer for my class. You don't know, you could possibly be happily surprised and they could just like give you 13 posters. But that's not all. They were also giving away these like stickers. These are sticker sheets. And of course I'm keeping one for myself so that I can put it on my notebooks or somewhere. And I have 2 more. So I can also give these away to my students. And here's the best part. He did indeed give me enough of these round stickers that have all the Harry Potter Hogwarts houses, so that at least each of my students can get one house that they like. Because he didn't give me 20 of each house, but he did give me more than 20 stickers. So here's Gryffindor, here's Ravenclaw. Whoa, oh, that was upside down, my bad. So let me like shuffle this around. So Gryffindor, here is Ravenclaw, here is Slytherin, and of course, last but not least, let me get this. Okay, Hufflepuff. I'm so excited about this, y'all. I can't wait for my kids to get one of these stickers for whatever house they want, and they have to choose one house, of course, and they can have it. And then I can have extras that I can use for different things or giveaways or, I don't know, incentives. Who knows? But this is so awesome. And all it took was just asking, hey, do you have any extras that you can like maybe spare? I have 20 students. So there you have it. And let me just put these away for a second. So I'll just put this there for now and I'll eventually put it away back in the Lego store bag. So that was my awesome find from yesterday. Oh, I wanted to show you some of the resources that I used from Jeff Anderson. He is the author of Mechanically Inclined and a couple of other books that are really great with grammar. And he goes over teaching kids grammar, but through good mentor sentences that show, hey, why is this sentence good? What's working with the sentence that makes it so awesome? And also, he is big into teaching kids how to learn grammar, not in isolation, but looking again at that good writing, but also applying it to their writing. So once they use it in their writing, not in isolation, they have better transference, and they can really learn how to use the grammar. So I want to show you the Fanboys posters that come from his website, writeguy.com. And I also want to show you an AAAWWUBBIS presentation. AAAWWUBBIS is something that he uses to teach the kids about complex sentences, and Fanboys is something he uses to teach the kids about compound sentences, how to write them, how to spot them, etc. For complex sentences, he teaches the kids to use AAAWWUBBIS, and I'll show you what that is, and it helps the kids know how to punctuate complex sentences. And the presentation that I found is from Prezi, and I found it made by another teacher, and I just made a copy of it into my Prezi account, and I use it every year. It uses Sanrio characters, so Hello Kitty's there, Pachaco's there, Bat Maru, all that. So I use that to kind of show the kids what AAAWWUBBIS stands for and how we punctuate complex sentences. Yeah, I guess we're gonna change the camera around and show you some of those resources. The other thing that I wanted to tell you was what happened today. Today was basically the final day for the students to present their cereal box autobiographies, and they did, and it was amazing, and I learned so much about these kids through that project. It's a free project on TPT, like I mentioned. I'll link it again down below. And the kids did a phenomenal job, and I got to connect with them. I even told them at the end, I have something in common with each and every one of you, even if it's only one thing, and that connects us. So that was awesome. And after that, what we ended up doing was ketchup and pickles, so they caught up on work that they needed to finish. I also did a mini rounding lesson this morning, and they did the rounding practice book page in the math book. I did score it, and I did give it a grade, and I conferenced with them one-on-one and told them what were their errors and where they went wrong to make sure that when they took the mid-chapter checkpoint, they didn't make those same errors. So after they did that, we did 2 tests. They did their math mid-chapter checkpoint. They also took their vocabulary workshop unit 1 test. And after they were all done, I went over the answers with them, and I showed them how to use those context clues to help them figure out either what word to complete the sentence or what was the synonym and the antonyms. So I also have those to grade and placed in the grade book. So that's what we did. And we also did reading, where they reread silently The Princess and the Pizza, and they tried to finish their Princess and the Pizza Trifold. They haven't finished, so they will finish next week. So I'll just give it to them along with their due now on Tuesday so that they can finish. Because yeah, next week Monday is Labor Day, so we have a long 3-day weekend, and I'm actually getting ready after work to go home and get ready because we are going, the whole family's going to Orlando to visit my brother. We're not going to the Disney parks, that's not what we're doing. We're just gonna have some good quality family time over there. It's very rare that I get to be with my 2 brothers, and all 3 of us are gonna be together. And I may or may not do a vlog, a weekend vlog about my experience in Orlando this weekend. If I do, it'll be a bonus video that will probably come out maybe on Tuesday. So yeah, that's basically what we did today. And then we had recess. As a matter of fact, I'll show you a little clip of that right now.
Been staring at the edge of the water, long as I can remember, never really knowing why. What's beyond that line, when I cross that line, the line of the sky to the sea, it calls me, and no one knows where it goes. Welcome to the first karaoke dance party of the year!
So that was a little glimpse as to our recess. It was the first time that we did karaoke dance party, and I had a couple of kids on the computers, and a couple of them were doing board games, and I told them that I will check because they haven't really told us yet how to do outdoor recess this year. So I'm gonna talk to administration and see how we can coordinate for the kids to actually go outside and play and just have a good time. So yeah, we did that. It was a great day. It was a lot that we did this week, and I know that sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, but as I look back and also as I rewatch these vlogs, I can see that I am hitting a lot of standards, and I am doing a lot of really meaningful activities for the students to learn the standards and the concepts and just have fun learning. All right, so without further ado, let me show you some of those resources that I'm using and one little thing that I created for our science notebooks. So here you go. The first resource that I want to show you, which is where I have gotten a lot of ideas that I've been using in my math interactive notebook. So this is by Mrs. Rojas Teaches.blogspot.com. This is on TPT, and it is an interactive math notebook, and she has it by Big Ideas. So this is number and operations in base 10, and she does include some resources that you can use in your notebooks. And I love that she creates sample pages. So I really have used the spread, but I did it differently if you remember. And then she provides the actual page to copy and give to the kids. I also did this one. Let me see if I can rotate this page. Yeah, okay. Let's rotate counterclockwise. Oh, here we go. There we go. This is the page that we sort of did, not all of this, but we did part of it. This is going over standard word form and expanded. I really didn't use it because we don't use number form. That's not the vocabulary we use. We use standard form. And then here is the page. I'm going to have to rotate it again. So 1 second. Ba-bum-bum. Nope, the other way. Sorry, I was right the first time. This is the one that we sort of worked on as well. I had them draw this instead of printing it out. And there's the pages for that. And here is the other one. I did print this little part out so that they can add in their notebooks. And I gave them some of these problems to work on, but they wrote down their numbers. So that's pretty much what we used from her. Now she has it available also for operations and algebraic thinking and fractions, measurement and data, and geometry. So this is a really great resource, and I am going to use parts of this in our notebooks, but I can't use all of them because these are Common Core standards and my standards are Florida standards, which are a little bit different, but there's a lot of similarities that I can still use. Now the rounding roller coaster comes from Adrienne Wiggins, and here it is. This is a freebie, like I mentioned. It is linked down below, and she has a couple of options available for you to use. So she has it like this, where she doesn't have the numbers and you just have the students glue the numbers where they go and they can draw themselves in the cart. She also has the numbers, like I said, to cut out so that you can put it around the roller coaster. And here she has it with the boy and the girl without it, and that's it. So I used the boy and the girl, and I did tell the kids if they wanted to draw themselves to just cut out the little person and then draw themselves if they wanted to. But this is the one that I used. And I printed enough for the amount of boys and girls that I have in the classroom, and they got to pick which one they really wanted. Now, another thing that we did, like I said, this is the vocabulary workshop test. So it goes over match the meaning, completing the sentence, synonyms and antonyms, which is very similar to their homework. And I just worked on creating a rubric for my summer short story. So I might be updating my summer short story resource soon. And when I do, and if you already have it, you should re-download it so that you could get this rubric that you can use for easy scoring. I did print it out so that it is in the shape of a 3x3 post-it. It is not formatted for you to put a post-it there, but this is how it actually looks. Let me put it over here. So this is how it actually looks when you print it out. And I did it on purpose so that I can easily glue it to the back of the shorts or tape it to the back of the shorts so that the students can see where their grade came from. And it's out of 60 points, and I chose all of those different categories. Now let me show you what I created for my science notebook. We are going to go over the science safety rules, and I want them to do a diagram of a safe scientist kid. So a safe student, what you need to do when we're conducting labs in the classroom. And I actually drew this, y'all, with lines from PowerPoint. I just put a whole bunch of lines together. Like if you want to see it, like right now it's grouped, but if I were to ungroup it, look at all those lines and shapes that I put together in order to make that person. Let me group it back together. So I drew them to have a lab coat, and these are goggles. So those are supposed to be goggles, and that's the best I can do with the hands, but I told the kids when we label it, you're gonna put gloves, and you're going to write why we use gloves for certain experiments. And I did want to give these people a lab coat, which I do really want to get lab coats and goggles for all of my students. So that's on my Amazon wish list. And here's another character, but with a skirt in case there's a person who wants to get a character with a skirt. And I'm going to show them to cut around, not precisely on the lines, but just a little white outline around so that it's easier to cut out and then glue. And then we can label it in our science notebook. So this is coming. Hopefully next week we'll have a chance to do that. Now on to the language arts resources that I was talking about from Jeff Anderson. So right here, I'm going to start with the Fanboys posters. So the Fanboys is just an acronym to help the students remember some of the most common conjunctions used when writing compound sentences. So each of these letters in Fanboys stand for one of these conjunctions. And these posters are from Jeff Anderson, and I'll show you exactly where to find them
And of course, I'll also link it in the description box below. So this is for, he is a problem finder. He connects a solution with the problem. Then we have and, the matchmaker, connects two ideas that go together. Nor, Mr. Negative, negative form of or. But, king conflict, connects two ideas that go against each other. Or, the decision maker, connects two choices. Yet, but's evil twin brother, connects two ideas that go against each other. So, the problem solver connects a problem with a result. And those are the fanboys. So let me show you exactly where I got it. And it was on his website, rightguy.net. And when you get to rightguy.net, you just go to teacher extras. And you come down over here, right here. Fanboys are the coordinating conjunctions. Download the PDF for the fanboys here. And these are links that he recommends for Mentor Sentence blogs. So if you do his everyday editing, which is one of the books that I recommend, I'll link it down below. He goes over how to do everyday editing with mentor sentences. So once you get here to this mentor sentence blog, you get to see what is it that you are teaching. Are you teaching punctuation? So if you're teaching punctuation, let's, for example, fourth grade, we teach commas in a series. Here is a list of sentences that many different teachers have posted that help to teach commas in a series. So you can use these as your mentor sentences to use in everyday editing. So I'll talk a little bit more about everyday editing later, but for now, here is the places that you can go to, and you'll find the links to this down below. So Fanboys helps with compound sentences, which are your coordinating conjunctions, and AAAWWUBBIS, which is also by Jeff Anderson, goes over your complex sentences or your subordinating conjunctions. So I found this Prezi presentation online, and I just made a copy of it into my Prezi account, and let me just show you how it looks. If you've never seen Prezi, it's just another dynamic presentation website, and it's free. So this is pretty much how it goes. Here we go. So it goes over AAAWWUBBIS and what it is. It's just a way to help you remember how to write and punctuate complex sentences. And it goes over what a dependent and dependent clause is, which are the two parts in a complex sentence. And not this clause, it's a little funny, so it's good for the kids. So it shows some information here. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but you can get an idea of what's included. And I'll, again, link this in the description box below if you want to use this presentation and maybe save it to your Prezi account, which again is free. So here we go with AAAWWWUBBIS. And you can use this as a way to also have your students take notes because they do show this here. You can change this, of course. If you make a copy of this, you can edit it and you can change it to your liking. You can even change the pictures if you don't like the pictures that are presented. So it starts to go over AAAWWWUBBIS. So as you notice, there are 3 A's. So it starts to show you what these letters in AAAWWWUBBIS represent. Here's the first A, which is as, and they show you an example of the word as it is used in front of the sentence. So you will put the comma after the dependent clause, and then you will have your independent clause at the end. But if the dependent clause is at the end of the sentence, you don't punctuate it. So yeah, it keeps going over this. And again, it goes back to the notes. Again, you can use that however you want. And here's the second A. And the second A is for after. It gives you another example. And then the third A is for although. So you get the idea. So that's it. That's pretty much all I wanted to kind of share with you. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description box below. And if you don't see anything that I said I would link, just send me a quick comment and I'll make sure I add it. Because sometimes I forget things because there's a lot of things going on. Anyway, so I had a really great day and a great week, actually. Great second week of school. Yes, I'm still losing my voice, but it's okay. It's all gravy. And this weekend, I plan to have a great time with my family, relax, have a great time. So without further ado, I'm going to actually end the vlog. I've had a great week. I look forward to this 3-day weekend, and next week is a short week. It's also open house. Open house is next Wednesday. So I'll show you a little bit of how I'm preparing for that. I'm not gonna go over the top because it's actually literally next week. But I do have to make sure I start putting on the bulletin boards all the student work that they have created so the boards are not empty when the parents come. And I will put together my PowerPoint that I show the parents that night. So yeah, open house is next week from 6 to 8, and I can't wait to see how it goes. And I'll share with you a little bit of that. Obviously, I can't film it, but I will talk to you afterwards and let you know how it goes. All right, so I hope you enjoyed coming on this 3-day vlog with me for the second week of school. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. I'll see you next time.